Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, race fans alike, to the Rustic Auto and Towing 125, brought to you by ETV Live at Lanier National Speedway. I'm Dakota Ehrman. Joining me in the broadcast booth, we have Michael Keaton, and on the cameras tonight, John Westling, Magic Fingers himself, always there to push the buttons. But Michael Keaton, this is going to be exciting, a special format here, an interesting race here with the Maritime Racing League tonight.
Yeah, really good format here tonight, Dakota. Got a bunch of guys here representing, or everyone here representing the eastern side of Canada here tonight. And we've got a couple or three heat races, an A heat, a B heat, and a C heat, Dakota, that's going to be 10 laps apiece. And then we're going to go to the B main, that's going to be 20 laps. And then, of course, the big event tonight that these guys are really looking forward to, the 125 laps here in the A main at Lanier National Speedway.
And of course, the winner of the B main does advance to the A main, and is only the winner, so that's always a valuable chance to get that one spot. And again, how you get to that B main and how you get to the A main, in the first three heats, you have to finish in the top 8 to advance to the A main. Anybody below that should end up in the B heat or the B main, and then again, the winner of the B main will advance to the A main. But this is their first race of the season, so we don't know what to expect.
No, we really don't, Dakota, and these guys really don't know what to expect. Although they've had quite a bit of some practice time, I'm sure these guys have been in the off-season a little bit. We had the Christmas break. Now we're in the new year, 2013. A lot of these guys here wanting to get started off on the right foot. I tell you what, Lanier National Speedway, a 3-8-mile track, is exactly the track to do that at, Dakota. This is a lot of fun here at this track, but these guys have got to be patient. As you said, they also have to make sure that they're a little aggressive, because only the top 8 from each heat race advance.
Yeah, and we actually have the first heat running up on pit road right now, and I'll tell you what, the guy who's looking strong, he's won the All-Star race here before the Maritime Racing League. He's won both broadcasted races we've done with these guys. Dylan Duvall in the 42 Wheel Stand Pro with Tim's Corner on the car.
And looks like probably going to be lining up second here, Dakota, as he's right behind Duvall. Ronald McKay in the 97 machine there, and the 24 also of Mark Williams, and the 22 car of Keith Mack.
And as I look, I'm believing Chris Wanacott would be the next guy in line. Actually, excuse me, that would be a Craig McDonald, actually.
Yeah, Craig McDonald. Then you got Tracy Foster. That looks like he's probably going to start somewhere back in a 5th or 6th there. And behind him, the next row, Vic Greenwood and Kevin Savory.
As the field does begin to roll here. Looking back even further, Blake Collicott, and I do believe next to him, whoa, everybody's changing around here a little bit, but Dave Dyer.
And then Doug Hoobley. And then, of course, the man himself, thanks Hick and Jick, Tim Terry, back there in the 99 machine. And then right behind him, Dakota, the 14 of Brandon Campbell.
And so as the field does get set to roll here, what we'll do here is we'll pace one more time, I do believe. Pace laps go fast here, and they do pace themselves, actually, which is a rather cool deal. And we got to send a shout-out to J.D. Laird for admitting this, the race tonight. Great job by him and Tim Terry to do this deal.
And of course, like you mentioned before the start of the race, as we take the green here, if the ball lines them up correctly, they bump. Oh no, Dakota, we've already got a wreck at the beginning.
The ball saved it.
He sure did.
And he turned it. Oh, ouch. I see the 88 made contact with the ball there.
Keep in mind, folks, this is only a 10-lap heat race, 9 laps to go. Dylan Duvall loses the lead, and Ronald McKay in the 97 machine out front here early with 8 to go at the line.
And Dave Dyer and Blake Collicott also getting together in the back. I believe that was the back stretch. It's hard to tell anymore, but a lot of cars is getting collected here. This is interesting.
So far, top 3, Ronald McKay going to take 7 laps to go this time by. Behind him, Mark Williams, Keith Mack, and Dylan Duvall, who almost wrecked Dakota. Or in fact, he did get a little bit twisted up at the beginning of the race, but he's able to stay up there in the top 5. He's 4th right now, 6 to go.
What a great save by Duvall. I mean, I'm sure he had his hands full there. As you saw him get into the 88 as he came back up the track, I mean, there is no doubt he had his hands full, and he did a great job holding on that thing, I think.
97 machine, Ronald McKay still out front here, got lap traffic ahead of him. Dave Dyer, 5 laps to go here at Lanier National Speedway. Ronald McKay looks like he's got it locked up for now.
Yeah, and for anybody wondering, our ticker might be messed up. I'm assuming that there's a chance that it could be messed up right now. Interesting little format here. That's gonna throw it for a loop, but everything should be fixed a little bit later.
Keith Mack may be starting to reel in the race leader, Mark Williams, as they come to 4 to go this time by Dakota. Keith Mack looking to the inside of the 24 with lap traffic just ahead. He's going to put a little nose in. Not enough room as they go down the backstretch.
Ronald McKay also he snuck away with that lead. They can't quite get to him. I don't think they'll have enough time if they have the speed. Dylan Duvall's coming in.
3 fingers on the flagman's hand as they come out of turn 2. Duvall in the 22 of Keith Mack almost wrecked. Dylan Duvall still underneath. 2 laps to go.
Duvall's making a comeback. I don't think he's got enough time in the way he's trying to pass here. It's like he's made contact with a lot of the cars he's got next to. I'd be rather scared to, try to hold him up.
So Ronald McKay, the white flag in the air. He may win your first heat race and transfer into the B main. Ronald McKay out front, Mark Williams second. Dylan Duvall hits the wall coming out of 2. Goes down underneath Keith Mack there. Dakota saves it again and he'll finish 3rd.
I'm not going to lie, I think Duvall was punted into that corner.
I tell you what, man, this is what heat race is all about. There you see Dylan Duvall getting a little bit of Keith Mack there. Hey, this is basically another practice race for some of these guys. Dylan Duvall and Keith Mack there still tangling up a little bit, but Ronald McKay getting it done here in the first heat race, number 1, and heading to the B main as well as the top 8 here. We'll try to get a list of the top 8, but so far we know that Ronald McKay has made his way in. He's won the first heat race, Dakota.
Yeah, and it's not that he's going to the B main. He will actually be going to the A main. It's the top 8 in these first 3 splits or heat races here that make it into the A main, and everybody underneath that does not get will make it into the I do believe the B main. And again, only the winner will make it in the A main once again.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, that's right. And I had it written down. Yeah, the top 8 transfer from the A, the B, the C, and then you got the guys who finished 9th and on back. They have one more shot at it, like you mentioned, and then the winner of the B main, which is 20 laps, the only person that gets into the A main out of that B main is the winner. So, man, I'm telling you, that's going to be a race right there, Dakota.
Yeah, and as I looked here, I do believe that I might know the starting lineup here, possibly. I believe it's going to start with Jake Goodwin and go straight down to Zach Hudson. And as I look further down, I believe Stephen Matthews or Cole Butcher. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a confusing format, but either way, looking forward to another exciting race that will be Stephen Matthews.
And again, still trying to get the exact. There was a little bit of a mix-up there on the start. We saw Dylan Duvall almost wreck. He did a phenomenal job of wheeling that Chevrolet late model and saving the car. But some guys behind him not lucky enough and fortunate enough to save it, Dakota. So some of these guys that were a lap down or 2 and got caught up in some other incidents late into the race, we're trying to get the word on exactly who the top 8 is, and we'll have that here in a few moments, hopefully.
Yeah, and I know I was talking to Dylan Duvall before the race, and he actually said that he felt like he was drifting a lot. And I do believe what happened there was he spun the tires on the restart, which is really something you got to be aware of because it can happen, it will happen, and as you saw, it did happen as these cars are getting lined up properly here.
Right, and too, Dakota, you got to think, this is a different kind of style of racing where you lead yourself to the green. There's no pace car out front, so these guys having to rely on each other. And it's probably really easy to do. I mean, they're pacing probably at a faster pace than they would normally. Even if they wasn't, and it's still hard to get up and go here at Lanier. Duvall probably first gear there and trying to transition in the second, just slip the tires. That's what we're hearing. So, it's something that can be easily done. But I tell you what, Duvall made one heck of a save to keep that car from spinning out and keeping himself in the top 8 here for a transfer in to the A main.
And I'll tell you what, I wanted to go back and look at the last season's points here. And the guy that I see on top of the board was the guy that Duvall got into or was racing extremely hard. They were bumping up to the race. Keith Mack was actually the championship winner last season. So as we are pacing here at Lanier National Speedway, Keith.
Absolutely, in the 48 machine, Jake Goodwin, as you mentioned earlier, going to start from the pole position. Looks like they may go one more lap here. This is heat race number 2, the B race. and we see them lining up here, and they'll take the green. It'll be another 10-lap shootout.
Yeah, this is only this will only be the second heat, as we will have again one more heat as we get set to go as the green flag is out. Jake Goodwin gets a good start there.
And then Stephen Matthews right behind him in the 98 machine. Sporting that car there. He's in second in the 91 of Chris Wanacott right directly behind him as they come in to complete lap 1 here.
As I watch Jake Goodwin, I'm watching his car, man, and I'm telling you, he cuts the center really well. I'm thinking that Jake Goodwin will be the class of the field in this heat. And as I said, he's being closed in on, and I don't want to give him the ETB jinx, but it looks like the car behind him is just sideways, so...
So far, everybody still on the track, running pretty good here, Dakota. And like you mentioned, Jake Goodwin in that 48 machine come real close to the wall last time by at a 4. This time by, keeps it a little closer to avoiding that wall there. And but he's got Stephen Matthews all over him, man. This is about a half a car length battle here now. The 98 machine closes in on the back bumper. Can't really win here with 6 laps to go.
And as I was looking, Ryan McIntosh and it looks like now Travis Roma and Dylan Roberts all going around Zach Hudson. Zach Hudson on the outside, all the way back in what should be now about 8th place or so. I'm showing 5th currently though. Zach Hudson going backwards in a hurry here, Michael Keaton.
You're exactly right. Zach Hudson is going backwards, and if he's in that 8th position, Dakota, that's the last position to be transferred in. And he's got Mike Rayburn on the back of him, pushing him a little bit through the corners here.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing at a track like this. And as they make contact in front of him, as they look a little bit further up, Dylan Roberts and Travis Roma, as we the leaders recognize.
The 48 machine, Jake Goodwin's around Dakota in turn 2. The car's totally destroyed. And now the new leader on the racetrack belongs, I believe, to Stephen Matthews.
Travis Roma got turned around, and he's now in front of the... he pulled down right in front of somebody. I believe it was Kenny Hopper in the 49 machine there. So Travis Roma going around also in that mayhem.
I believe we'll have 2 laps to go here when the leader crosses the line. Stephen Matthews being shown in the lead. The 98 machine got lap traffic just ahead. Put it on the leader right now with one lap to go here, Dakota, in the B race, the B heat.
And just saw Chuck Morehouse actually go around as well, and the 18 car in the rear of the field. Now that's who the leader was lapping there. As we are under the white flag now, the 98 of Stephen Matthews is. We have slow traffic in front of him once again. Looks like cars still possibly wrecking. Looking at Travis Roma once again, slow and off the pace. Looks like he may have spun it once again. I'm not quite sure there, but looks like there you have it. Stephen Matthews is your heat number 2 winner as he crosses the line for the checker flag.
Chris Wanacott was closing in a little bit by little bit, but Dakota with 10 laps on the board, not enough time to get by him. So. But both of those guys will advance, as well as 6 other guys, and we'll try to have the final lineup here after the 3 heats here. So up next, C heat, 10 laps again, man. I tell you what, this is some fabulous racing, Dakota.
Without a doubt, man, it is, and it's always fun to watch these things and see the short track racing. I love short track racing, and I don't know a guy who doesn't. But I tell you what, I'm working on it. I think we can get Stephen Matthews up here. And there he is, actually, Stephen Matthews, man. You got a copy, bud?
I got you there, bud.
How was that? I mean, that was a fun ride, was it? You started, I believe, around 2nd or 3rd, and you managed to sneak away with the win. Walk us through it, bud.
Well, started 3rd there. I'm just taking my time and reeling them in slowly but surely, and got to the bumper there, and he got a little loose. I stuck it in. He closed the hole, and I was there, and that's how that all went down. I just ran the rest of the laps down, man, and come away with it.
Steven, this is Mike up in the booth, man. Hey, congratulations winning B heat here. You transfer into the A main, man. Tell us what the difference is between 10 laps and 125 laps at Lanier National Speedway.
Well, I wanted a good starting spot. I don't know about the outside pole, but we'll take it. I was taped off there. I ran my qualifying setup with a couple of adjustments, so my race setup is not as good as I'd like it, but we'll see what we got.
Yeah, 125 laps. We'll have yellow flag conditions in that race, and hopefully, Stephen, that'll stay green for a little bit and give you guys a little bit of wear on them tires. And and make for some good green flag racing. So good luck in the A main. We're about to get the field rundown for the C heat. 10 laps. Stick around, Stephen. B main's probably going to be a real nice race. You'll have one guy to win that one, Dakota, and I can't wait to watch the B main and see how aggressive these guys are going to go after it.
Yeah, and you got to think there's a lot of these guys that we saw spin around that probably could have had a decent run there, that they're going to fight for that transfer spot. So I really think it's going to be interesting, especially with it being all the guys that couldn't make it in. They were all running probably about the same speed as we'll see. I think it's going to be a very, very close race, and I'm rather excited to watch that. But as we get set to roll here in the C heat, as you said, we're still finalizing the grid just barely here, Keaton.
Yeah, heat 3 here. Again, the top 8 here. Dakota going to transfer in. On the pole for this one, Ricky Arbo in the 61 machine. Outside of him, looks like it's going to be Robert Lee. Then Cole Butcher, Carter Wilson in the 27 machine. Man, look at that car. It looks really good. John Gahan is going to be in this race too as well. Jeff Gilmet also in that 12 machine. Dakota.
And the 46 on the outside row behind them will be Danahan. And as I look again, now we have Martin Landry, the 20 on the inside. These guys are shuffling around. Mike Rhino in the 4 on the outside behind him. And as I look for the 64 now, he will be, I believe, the last car on the inside, but the last car on the outside will be the 94 Nicholas Story, with Justin Doucette being the last car on the inside, the 64, like I said.
So here we go, 10 laps at the line here when they take the green flag. Ricky Arbo going to lead them to the green here at Lanier National Speedway. They're on the backstretch now, getting ready for this fun 10-lap shootout here in heat race number 3, Dakota.
I would quite call it fun, and these guys are nerved. Their nerves are probably going as the green flag gets out. Ricky Arbuo, getting a great start there.
Yeah, Ricky Arbo out front. Now, you notice this heat race a little different. No bumping and grinding here on the start of this one, as Ricky Arbo gets out to a really good, comfortable lead.
Great lead there, and we saw how that worked the first time though. The leader got a pretty good start, but then he was ran down, it looked like, by the second place car, and it looks like the 5 is closing in, maybe just a little bit, not quite sure, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. And I want to apologize for any names I might butcher before this night's over, but still learning names here.
Yeah, and Dakota, I was looking at the lineup, man. A lot of these guys from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, and Labrador, and Maine. So I think these guys will forgive us. The Eastern Canadian guys, pretty friendly group of folks here, and I know Tim Terry and those guys doing a fabulous job with this league as we kick off the 2013 series. And in heat race number 3 here, as Ricky Arbo continues to lead.
Cole Butcher, though, maybe sneaking in just a little bit. As that 5 is closing in on Ricky Arbo.
Yeah, Cole Butcher is trying to put the Butcher on Arbo, just can't quite get there. I'm telling you, Ricky had a really fabulous start, Dakota, and probably couldn't ask for a better one. If he stands to win this, I think he will be starting in the 3rd position, if I'm not mistaken, in the A main. So that'll be a good starting position for him. And Cole Butcher, like you said, in the 2nd spot, but he's got a little bit of heat from Carter Wilson behind him in the 27, halfway home.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was watching the 95 Nicholas Story. He just gave up the last transfer spot for the 3rd heat here, as Martin Landry had just took his spot over. Great position.
Yeah, Martin Landry probably wiping the sweat from the brow here as the top 8 do transfer into the A main. Those that are left behind will be forced to try to pick up lost meat and beverages in the B main, a 20-lap feature that's going to be wild and intense.
Without a doubt, just like that, the B main though. I'm excited for that one. I want to see what happens in that little 20-lap shootout. That is 10 laps longer than these races here. The 10-lap races. We have 2 to green here.
Ricky Arbo coming around turn 4. White flag in the air. Ricky Arbo's got it all but wrapped up. As long as he can keep that Chevrolet on the racing surface, he'll win it here in the heat race number 3. And Cole Butcher gonna come home in 2nd.
Carter Wilson coming home 3rd with Robert Lee in 4th position.
There you go. Heat race number 3 over. Top 8's going to advance again to the A main. But don't go anywhere. We got the B main up next, and some may call it the Demolition Derby. 20 laps, no cautions. The only one advancing to the A main is the winner. So if I'm starting on the pole in the B main, I'm going to make sure that these guys, I'm going to make sure that the throttle doesn't stick, Dakota.
I don't know. There's some people that I've heard that might be purposely getting the throttle to stick. I don't know. Some rumors.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, that's somewhere where, you know, you really don't want to be. That I want to be in third or second, be the guy behind the first place guy. That way I can give him a little shove in turn 4 on the final lap or something to get him on out of the way, because the only one that advances, again, is the winner. And the B main, or the B feature, as some may call it, is up next, Dakota.
And I do want to say that last night that they ran a practice race, and you talking about the throttle stick, and Tim Terry having problems on a restart and plowed to the field and took out over half the field last night just in practice, and that's on the league admin, so that was kind of a funny deal.
Now, I do want to make mention here, folks, that I'm going to go through the top 5 of the fastest in practice. Dylan Naval with a 13.4. No one else has turned a 4 in practice. This is the practice times. Jake Goodwin, who we saw put on a heck of a show in heat race number 2. Second fastest, Ricky Arbeau, who won the 3rd heat race here. He was 3rd quickest in practice. Ronald McKay, who won the 1st heat race, he was 4th fastest. And Zach Hudson, who may have fell out of the top 8 and may have to race his way in. We'll find out the final rundown here in a little bit. But Zach Hudson, nonetheless, 5th fastest, Dakota, in practice.
Yeah, and Robert Lee, who we talked about advancing, he was 6th in practice. Mark Williams and Stephen Matthews, I believe both those guys advanced. Cole Butcher advanced. He was 9th in practice. And Keith Mack, remember him getting together in the first heat with Dylan Duvall quite a bit. He was 10th in practice in that number 22 machine, as we, I believe, have started gridding for this B main here, which is a 20-lap shootout. Again, sorry, Keaton, you called it a demo derby, possibly. I think it's going to be interesting. Either way, I know I've said it about a million times now, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, it really is, Dakota. I mean, 20 laps. So basically, it's 2 heats put together. Again, green flag racing, no cautions. Tracy Foster looks like he's going to make his way out into the pole position for this one. The 49 car that you see there on the outside of him on pit road right now, Kenny Hopper, is going to start 2nd on the outside. So as you see more cars starting to roll out, Dakota, we should have a full good grid rundown here in a moment.
Yeah, that really, I can't tell you how close this is going to be. This could either be a blowout or it could be a really, really close race within the whole top 5 to top 10. I mean, you got to think all these guys were finished 9th or worse in those main races, there's heat races, excuse me. I have a feeling that they could be relatively close in times. I mean, I know the field was spread out, but this could be the closest racing we see all night. And again, with the main coming up, the A main, that will also be a lot of close racing, I do believe, because they were all very, very fast here tonight.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, that, if you're back here in 8th, 9th, 10th position for this B main, that doesn't really mean squat, because Tracy Foster that's up there in first right now, just hypothetically, let's say that the one of these cars gets into the back of him, spins him out, no caution, takes out the top 7 people. Well, the guy sitting back here in 8th, like Dave Dyer or someone like that, has a shot at winning this race. So that's what makes this fun and interesting. And I think we're going to see a lot of carnage, Dakota. I mean, this is what short track racing at Lanier, a 3/8 mile track, is all about. The late models here. I think the only thing that can make it better is under the lights.
That could make it better. Yeah, we convince these guys to go like the Charlotte Little Legends Oval or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, a little Thursday night short track racing, just like your. Looks like we're rolling the B now. The B main is up next. Cars are rolling out onto the field here, onto the racing surface. Tracy Foster, we mentioned him on the pole. Kenny Hopper, Dakota's also on 2nd.
Nicholas Story in 3rd, 95 machine, and Brandon Campbell in 4th on the outside lane in the 14 car.
Nathan Daughtry there, Notary there, and also Brandon Campbell going to start there in 4th position. Or John Gahan. I'm sorry there, Dakota.
Dave Dyer is starting, I believe that is the 7th position if I am correct. And on the outside of him, I'm waiting on him to roll up, it's going to be Blake Collicutt.
And then Travis Roma, there as well, Chuck Morehouse, Kevin Savory, Justin Doucette, don't count him out. Dakota, looks like we're green flag racing. That was the green flag there as Tracy Foster takes the lead into turn 3. Got a good, comfortable lead as the 49 machine. Oh, man!
95 Nicholas Story also around in the inside wall.
And there you have it, Dakota. I knew it. Let's see if the caution flag will be thrown. So far, still green here. They kind of piled it up there in one, but so far we're green flag racing as Tracy Foster leads here at Lanier.
Wow.
Nathan Daughtry there, the only one close to him, about 10 car lengths back. He's the 6th car there that you see on the screen. Nathan there. And then Blake Collicutt. Collicutt is in 3rd, and he's probably about 15, 20 car lengths behind 2nd place here.
Well, this is shaking up. I should have just let you say, let's go wrecking here. I know about racing, but let's go wrecking here. That's probably what we should have let you done here, because that's what these guys went out and did. That happens from time to time, though. Short track racing, Tracy Foster out with his lead, though, and still expanding that lead, too.
Looking back here in the 3rd position, which would be Chuck Morehouse in the 20, in the 18 car, the 38 car of Travis Roma, looking to take over 4th position there, as though Dakota, it does not matter. The only one going to advance to the A main is the winner. And right now, Tracy Foster looking pretty good out there in front, dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. He's got through it. Tracy Foster, nothing but clean air in front of him as he comes out of turn 4.
Yeah, but again, remember, this is twice the length of those heat races. He still has to go double that. You can't quite use the qualifying setup unless you have enough fuel in it, and that will also change the setup if you already don't run enough fuel. So these guys probably, or possibly, in race trim at least, and this is the longest distance they've had to go all night, at least in one of these races. So.
And guys, it looks like the 2nd place position car, Nathan, the 6th machine, starting to settle in a little bit, maybe starting to reel Foster in here as they come down the front stretch. Ran a 14.041 this time by. Tracy Foster a little slower with a 14.153. We're in the B main, 20 lap shootout here as Nathan may be closing in the gap of Tracy Foster.
Here comes Nathan Daugherty. I'm telling you, man, he's closing in on Tracy Foster. Like you said, I have a feeling that we'll have a race before this thing is over. We're not quite halfway yet. So, I mean, this could be a race before it gets over, as we are halfway now.
Yeah, halfway this time by. The cross flags in the air. The 49 machine getting up way high. Kenny Hopper, the lap car there, giving plenty of room to the race leader, Tracy Foster. Nathan Daughtry stuck on the inside a little bit. He'll get by. Here he comes out of turn 4, closing and reeling him in. Tracy Foster still in the lead.
And Nathan Daugherty lost a little bit of time there trying to work that lap car, I can tell, as it gets loose and hits the wall off of, I believe that was turn 2. Ouch.
Yeah, Dakota, you're absolutely right. The lap car there was up high, trying to get out of the way, but as you mentioned, Nathan really couldn't come out of the corner like he wanted. He's got to set the sights back on target here. Tracy Foster's the leader. He is right now the only man going to be able to transfer into the A main. Nathan Daughtry in the 6th, trying to reel him in as we passed halfway, a couple of laps to go here, Dakota.
Yeah, Keaton, and I think you know probably just as well as I do, this is one of those line-dependent tracks. So when you go to a line-dependent track that's especially hard to pass at, like this track, it can be intense when you go through the lap traffic like he did. I know you've had I think you've had problems with that before. I mean, let's go into that driver's mind right there as he's trying to work that lap traffic, trying to run down the leader, and he's running out of laps as we have 5 laps to go.
Well, what's running through the mind of Tracy Foster is the lap cars in front of him, and they are in that line that you talked about, Dakota. There's one preferred line here. It's kind of the bottom. Then you swing it up high coming out of the turns as we see Tracy Foster digging deep in turn 1 here. A little bit of lap traffic cementing ahead. He goes high. He avoids the wreck. The 6th machine of Nathan Daughtry avoids the wreck too. But Dakota, laps winding down here. I believe 5 laps to go. Nathan has lost a little bit of momentum here.
He's also lost some of that side of his car. He did make contact with one of those cars that was wrecking, so he will be slowed down a little bit, possibly off the pace here, as that did tear up his, I believe, his left side of the car.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Tracy Foster now on the backstretch got still a couple of lap cars ahead of him. We mentioned Kenny Hopper earlier, giving Nathan a little bit of a tough break there, coming out of one of the turns. Couldn't quite get the car up as high as he wanted. And now Tracy Foster started.
Yes, I believe we have the white flag this time by. Here comes Tracy Foster for the last time around. As long as he does not do anything stupid, not wreck, not run over a lap car or something of the sort, and as he goes through turn 3, I don't think he will. He will advance to the A main, the feature race here, Michael Heaton.
Checker flag in the air, Dakota, as you mentioned, and Tracy Foster is the only man, the two machine, the Chevrolet Tracy Foster out of Eastern Canada, going to advance into the A main, which is 125 laps. Although Tracy advanced into the A main, I think, Dakota, correct me if I'm wrong, he's going to have to start it at the tail end of the field, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll get official word on that unless you know it right now.
I do actually believe that you were correct there. Saying that he will start at the rear of the field. And ironically, he was one of the cleanest cars on the track, so if that tells you anything, it's just about survival here. Sometimes he had a perfect starting spot. I mean, he ran through the race, he did his race, ran his race, didn't worry about what was around him, just missed the wrecks, and look where he's at right now. He's doing burnouts against the wall.
So far, winners from tonight, the A heat, which would have been heat race number 1, Ronald McKay. In heat race number 2, Stephen Matthews. The third heat race here, Ricky Arbeau picking up the win. And, of course, Tracy Foster picking up the 20-lap B-main race here, and the only man advancing into the 125-lap race of the A-main. So, Dakota, I think we're trying to get official word on the starting grid for the A-main. That's going to be 125 laps, which is going to be a pretty exciting race.
Yeah, and I believe actually they have opened up the track to final practice here. So why they do that? Yeah, I believe why they do that, we're going to go ahead and step away and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Time is running out. We've got 5 laps to go. Huffman and Vincent battle it out for the lead. Meanwhile, Chad Cole dukes it out for second as they go into turn 2.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over the wing distance as Chad Cole walks the number 2 spot.
And the winner in race number 1 of the chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship and the Bob Will Race Team made in $400 will be Landon Huffman in his Chevrolet 65. Huffman goes to 1.
What's going on?
That's it, bud.
Alright, and we're back live at International Speedway. Myself and Michael Keaton here up in the broadcast booth, and we have our 3 heat winners in here for interviews before they go out to race in the A main here. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Keaton, who's standing by with our 3rd heat winner.
Yeah, Ricky Arbo, the man from New Brunswick, in the 61 machine, getting it done. 10-lap heat race. Ricky, tell us about starting out front and finishing that thing in the lead.
Oh, we got a good car right out of the trailer. It was fast. We worked hard testing, I don't know, for the past month, preparing for this event. We're pretty confident we got a good, solid car for the feature.
And I'll tell you what, 125 laps setting up for this A main. Ricky, I believe you're going to be starting in the 3rd position, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us about what kind of game plan you've got positioned for you and your crew.
Well, right now it's I'm going to concentrate early on just logging some laps in. Hopefully we can get some green flag at the end of her, and hopefully we'll we'll have a shot for the win at the end. We had a couple practice races this week. Didn't have very good luck, so I hope things are different tonight.
Yeah, well, good luck tonight here in a few moments, getting set to go for the A main, 125 laps at Lanier National Speedway. Good luck, Ricky.
10-4, thanks guys, enjoy the show.
All right, thank you. And Dakota, you're standing by with the heat race number 1 winner, Ronald McKay.
Yeah, and Ron, man, how was that restart? The first thing that came to my mind when I thought about interviewing you was that restart.
Yeah, I think what was going on there, I was trying to hold the middle so that Dylan wouldn't get up on the middle of the track and push me up the hill going into the corner, and I don't know, one of us maybe misjudged there. I don't know who it was, but anyways, that's part of it. He'll be tough in the race, and there's a lot of other good cars out here too, so it should be a good race if everybody keeps their head for the first 80 or 90 laps or so, and we'll go at it at the end.
And Ron, man, when you got up, you stayed up front, you never looked back. Can you starting this race, do you think you can maybe set the pace here?
Yeah, I'm going to try to set a little pace at the start here, kind of along the same lines as Ricky there. We're just going to log some laps for a while. Like I say, just because you're not starting close to the front, there's a lot of good cars in the field, so you don't want to burn your stuff up too early.
All right, now I want to wish you the best in this A main here, Ronald.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
All right, now we're going to pass it again back to Michael Keaton, who's standing by with Stephen Matthews, our second heat.
Yeah, the man from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Stephen. I understand qualifying getting underway here, man. You're going to pick her up in the second position tonight, second place position tonight, Stephen. Tell us about what your game plan is going into this 120 lap A main.
Well, right off the bat there, Mike, got to get to the bottom and just follow the train around, log some laps, you know, like they said, 80, 90, 100 laps. Just ride around and wait for the end. Hopefully I'm there and in contention for the win. Kind of struggling at this track a bit, but we'll see what we got.
And of course, Stephen, I tell you, man, I mean, picking up the win there in the B, the B heat race, or the second heat race of the 2013 season. That's gotta be starting off on the right foot there. You qualified into this A main. You're there. There's ability to get points here. So, you got to think going into this race, going into the A main. At least you're in the ball game. At least you're going to get at least a point or two.
Oh, for sure. If I can walk away with a top 5, even top 10, I'd be pretty happy with that. Like the big thing is just it's a small track, got to stay out of trouble and just ride around for a bit.
All right, Stephen, we'll let you go. We know the race is going to be starting here any minute now. Good luck, Mr. Matthews.
Thanks, Mike. I just want to say special thanks to Carl Rayburn from Rustic Auto for putting on this deal.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, sir. That mighty good race here getting set up. Dakota here going green. Any minute now, 125 laps at Lanier National Speedway. The Rustic and Towing 125 is set for good green flag racing. The flag man is back up into the stand. Yellow flags will be waved if needed. And 125 laps here at Lanier. Going to be a fun race to see who can save the car. That's going to be real key here, Dakota. Who can save that damage? Coming off the turns here, these cars want to get a little loose and hit the wall. Who can keep it off the wall? I think that's going to be your winner.
Yeah, we did see in B main there. The one car that was the clean car was the one that won the race, but again, he did have the starting position, and he had the advantage with that starting position as there. But I'm excited to see what happens here. This is only round 1 of 12. I mean, you think about this. This is only going to get better. We get to go do this 12 times. These guys are going to get maybe a little bit more used to the format. We'll get a little bit more used to the format, and I think these guys are just going to put on a better show every week, week in and week out here.
Absolutely, and Dakota, I'm looking at the qualifying here. I'm still not sure exactly how this is going to work. I'm showing. Yeah, I believe Ronald McKay is actually going to be your pole winner here tonight. Ronald McKay in that 97 machine, who won the very first heat race. And then, of course, I believe Ricky Arbo, Stephen Matthews also going to be up there in the mix. And Mark Williams and Chris Wanacott and some others. Dakota, any minute now, we will get the official word that the cars will fire up the engines. And we'll take this thing green for the 2013 kickoff Rustic and Towing 125 here at Lanier, where Georgia does NASCAR.
Yeah, I do believe we're showing the ball on the pole, but I do not think that last. I think race officials are supposed to move him back, as I believe he'll get an EOL for something went wrong in scoring or something of the sort. But either way, like you said, Ronald McKay is supposed to start on the pole. Ricky Arbu, I cannot pronounce his last name. I apologize. We'll start second. Stephen Matthews will start, and Mark Williams will start 4th, and Chris Wanacott will start 5th.
And of course, Cole Butcher out there, Dylan Roberts, Carter Wilson, Keith Mack, I believe rounding out the top 10 there.
Actually, Robert Lee will be, I do believe, 10th. Craig McDonald, 11th. Jake Goodwin, 12th. Danahan in excuse me, I'm thinking 13th. Yeah. And this is all. Again, I'm not sure, but I believe Dylan as well will be put in the back. So that's why we will have to move the running order. So we'll have to get this straightened out once we get under these pacing laps, I'm sure. As yes, I do have confirmation that Dylan DeVault will be starting from the rear of the field. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting. I just believe the inside lane will actually move up a spot. So.
Well, I mean, we heard from Ronald McKay. Ricky Arbeau. That he's just got to get down. I mean, you know, whoever's on that high side, this is a one groove type racetrack, and we saw that in the heat races. Not a lot of passing. Ronald McKay is actually going to start on the pole here again, so that'll move Stephen Matthews to the outside, I believe so. Anyway, whoever's on the outside has got to get to the bottom. We heard them talk about it before the race here momentarily ago. So Dakota, if you're on the outside, you know, how do you do it? How do you get down safely? You just kind of mix your way down, or you just kind of let a couple laps tick off? You know, there's all kinds of ways to do this, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna venture to say that in the early going, you don't want to be aggressive and do it. But I'm usually wrong at these kind of things, especially short track racing. I have a feeling it's going to be all out. Just go for the lead as soon as you can. So it's going to be exciting to see. I can't quite tell. I'm not a driver in the car right now. It's up to these guys. It's what the show they decide to put on is what's going to go down here, Mike.
And by the way, it looks like it's official. Ricky Arbeau, your pole sitter, he's going to take us to the green. The 97 Ronald McKay to the outside as green flag in the air. 125 laps to go.
And a clean restart up front. 97 almost coming down on the 24. Looked like kind of a scary moment. That's Ronald McKay. Looks like yeah, the caution on the speedway.
Caution is out, and it's a big one. Looks like the number 89 machine running back there in 21st. Actually, it's going to start. Brian Campbell was in that wreck, but it's going to start in the 16th position. Dakota, the 12th car of Jeff Gilmat's just going to lose it on the front stretch there and take a couple of cars with him.
Yeah, a few, and I see the 88, one of them. I know there was another. I got to see this, and then we have cars actually piling into each other. Also, while they're trying to avoid the wrecked cars there. Now I'm looking. I think it was a 99. So the 88 and the 99. Trying to look for that is Kevin Savory and Tim Terry. Tim Terry already involved in one of the wrecks here, unfortunately, early on here.
Yeah, a couple of cars involved with that. Again, the 12 car just getting a little loose. And I tell you, these cars are really hard to save, Dakota. I know we saw Dylan DeVault make one heck of a save there in the first heat race, keeping from spinning it. But, man, I tell you, looking at the cockpit of that view of him, looking at the replay of that cockpit view of him, you know, just up, nothing but on the wheel of trying to keep that car straight. He did a fabulous job of doing that. It's really tough to keep these cars from turning around on you. They're very heavy in the rear, and we saw the 12 car get wrecked.
Unfortunately, and but as we look at this restart here, and I know a lot of people, not many people coming down pit road. We don't see these cars pit much, and especially for as long as it takes to get fuel and as quick as we do pace laps. I know the fuel in these cars takes a very, very long time to get filled up. And then again, these pace laps are very, very short, about 30 seconds, and it takes them about that long to get all the way through pit road, because once they go down on one end, they have to complete about a full circle around pit road and then go around again some more just off the pit road. So it's a very long pit road, a very slow pit road, and a very challenging pit road here.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, I mean, you know, when you come down pit road, Dakota, it's not like you can put the jack. The jack has to go in the middle of the car where it lifts both sides of the car up, and you can only put right sides on. You only have enough time for right sides. You can't do both. If you do both, you're going to go a lap down. That's just how quick the pace is here. So that's why you'll see a lot of these guys hold off on pitting. But it's also interesting, Dakota, what strikes me as most interesting about this race is who started what with what fuel. And because the less fuel you have, I guess the faster you go in these type cars. So that'll be pretty interesting if we have a long green flag run.
Yeah, and then, just to clarify, the caution was delayed there by the official admin again. But as we do get set here, the green flag is out. Ronald McKay on the outside lane with Ricky Arbeau on the inside lane. Side by side.
Side by side, coming out of turn 2, 97 hanging on for all he can. The high side making it work here a little bit at the International Speedway. Going to try to lead a lap, can't quite do it. Now the 97 of Ronald McKay is going to get down low and follow Ricky Arbo for just a little bit as he leads off 2.
I'll tell you what, if you can get out outside at the right time in that inside lane, they don't drive the corner right, then you can take over that spot on the outside lane. Because when you get above somebody, they can't legally take you out. They could get suspended, or they get some kind of penalty. So they have to lift, and you can gain a lot of time unless they manage to back up the corner there. So that's what the 97 was almost able to do, but it looked like Ricky Arbo was able to capitalize on the next corner.
I just saw the 3rd and 4th place battle, Dakota, between Mark Williams and Stephen Matthews. Stephen Matthews was on the outside. He won heat race number 2 here tonight. He was on the outside for about a couple of laps. That's all he could take, Dakota. And you got to think too that the right front of that right front tire could wear out a little quicker. You could see pinching Mark Williams down. And sometimes you can get a little too close and cause both cars to spin. So you've got to be careful here. Lanier is not an easy track to race here. As we see, the bottom line is really the way to go.
Yeah, I'm looking back here all the way in 13th position. Vic Greenwood and that was Danahan. They were racing side by side, extremely hard, almost bumping. And it looks like Vic Greenwood was able to get around him. Now Danahan going backwards again. Dylan Duvall, who started in the rear of the field again after a penalty, he's all the way back up to, I believe that's 13th position now. Wow.
Yeah, and just to show you where the rear of the field is, that was in 27th position. And Dylan Duvall has worked himself all the way up to 13th with 1 caution. So far, 15 laps into the books here. And they're wrecking at the front, Dakota.
Yeah, it was a 9 at Craig McDonald all the way back in what was 10th. Looks like he's going to lose all his spots. He did hit the wall very hard. He was going inside the number 27. Carter Wilson gets loose, slides up the center of the corner, hits them, and gets loose again. Almost saves it, gets ran over from behind. I believe that was one of our heat winners. I do believe that it was actually winning at one point.
Yeah, Jay Goodwin. Yeah, Jay Goodwin in the 48 machine. I think Dakota. Yep, he got him. Yeah, Jake Goodwin definitely got the rear end of that car. And looking at the 48 machine, doesn't look too good on that Chevrolet there, so he'll probably have to bring it down pit road and service that car as he's doing right now. But tough break, 2nd caution here.
Unfortunately, now we see the 9 and Craig McDonald slow on the inside of the apron. I believe he's just going to have to possibly pull it over. He's trying to stay out of everybody's way and get around. We have a few cars coming down pit road. Look like mainly damaged cars. Terry's car still on pit road after the extensive damage he received early on in this session here in this race. Dylan Duvall up to 11th after starting from the rear of the field, and our leader still remains Ricky Arbo, I do believe.
Yeah, Ricky Arbo has he actually officially started on the pole for this race. Ricky Arbo again out of New Brunswick, Eastern Canada, and doing a fabulous job here racing out front here early on in the Rustic and Towing 125 at Lanier National Speedway, where the 2013 series is kicking off for the Eastern Canadians here. This is the Eastern Canadian Late Model Series, as I like to call it. All these guys representing Eastern Canada, and they do a fabulous job of getting these cars around the racetrack, Dakota.
And you know what? I know his guys are servicing the car on pit road and in the garage somewhat. Either way, Tim Terry has crawled up into the booth, not very happy, I know, with some of the competition out there. Tim, what happened, man?
I don't know what booth you think I'm crawling into, but since you're here, I want to ask you, how's my car look?
Well, I think Keaton's got binoculars over there, right?
It looks a little Hickle and Jeck there, Tim.
Yeah, it looked that way last night too. I don't know how many laps I'm down, but I'm in here for points, so I'm going to come out and get some points and hopefully get this. But they're going green, so I'm going to stop right here and wait for these guys to go.
All right, thank you, Tim.
And of course we are going green. And Ricky Arbo out front here again. Good clean restart for him. Ronald McKay going to settle back into 2nd here as we see Mark Williams falling into the 3rd position. But Stephen Matthews, who restarted in the 4th position, has now been shown in the 5th as the 31 machine. If Dylan Roberts works underneath him.
And by the way, that is an example of how short these cautions are. Very, very fast and very hard to talk to a driver sometimes with the amount of laps we have. But I'm looking back here. Stephen Matthews in 5th position, and number 98 I believe just gave up the spot, or was battling Dylan Roberts for the spot for 4th position. A good battle there, almost making contact more than once, but it looks like I do believe Stephen Matthews will fall off just a little bit.
Next time by, Ricky Arbo will lead us to the triple-digit 100 mark. Laps to go here at Lanier National Speedway. There we have it, 100 laps to go. And so far, out of the 27 drivers, 23 remain on the lead lap. Brian Campbell being the guy that's on the bubble, 7 seconds back from the leader. 3 laps down, Jake Goodwin, Craig McDonald, 8. Tim Terry, we just talked to him. Disappointing night for him, but he's here for points. He made the show. He's going to finish the show. He's in 17th, laps down. Kevin Savory in the 88 machine, 27th, being shown 23 laps down. So some of these guys, still in the hunt, though, Dakota.
I'll tell you a guy who's still in the hunt. He started all the way in the rear of the field. I gotta keep bringing this up because this is an amazing comeback. He's already up to 7th after 28 laps and quite a few caution laps of that. Dylan Duvall, I mean, he's working traffic right now as he had the 48. I believe that's Jake Goodwin slow on the outside, but he has done a fabulous job of working through traffic as they're racing side by side in front of him. This is the outside lane. I think this is one of the cars to beat tonight. As we saw, he was fast in the first heat. He only wrecked the car and was still coming back up to the front. So Dylan Duvall, still got my eyes on him.
Caution is out here for the 3rd time at Lanier. Looks like another big one here, Dakota. And Robert Lee, Carter Wilson involved. I believe Carter was running 12th, and I think him and the 41 car, Robert Lee, got a little tangly down the front stretch here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch this. On my
Robert
replay.
Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Lee comes off corner way high and gets really loose and comes down into whoever it was on the inside there. Can't quite tell who that is.
Yeah, but you could see Robert was losing it coming out of 4, just a little bit probably too hard on the throttle. And I tell you, the guy on the inside had nowhere to go. That was Dana Ham. And I think Dana's probably going to be all right from that. Probably a little bit of right passenger side damage there, but car don't look too bad.
I'll tell you what, you said that was a result of maybe too much throttle, and also, I mean, if you're cranking the wheel at this place and you come off the corner, you gotta have that wheel straight, or you're most likely going to turn it. Another possibility, he's got a very tight car.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dakota. He could have a tight car, and you never know here at Lanier. This is a 3-8-mile track. Guys, this is a very, very short track. You could almost throw this track inside of your average house. No, I'm kidding, but this is a very small track, and it makes for some very, very tight racing, and that's what we saw there, him getting a little loose, and just Dana was there. He was in his lane, but you know, when someone gets loose, it only takes a little bit. It's like, if you give an inch, somebody will take a mile, and it looks like that's what happened there.
That without a doubt. Yeah, and I want to take, again, attention. I know I keep talking about Dylan Duvall, but something just kind of hit me here. You were talking about tight racing. Guess who's on his inside here on the restart?
Keith Mack.
You guessed it. Remember those two tangling in the first heat race several
That's
times
right.
After the race. This could get interesting.
That is right, Dakota. I think maybe these guys have, as we go back green here, maybe these guys have settled that out during the heat race there. Both of these guys know there's a long way to go, and Ricky Arbeau out front here on the restart, but too wide racing behind him.
Yeah, looks like Dylan Duvall was able to clear Keith Mack. Keith Mack shoving it in. 97 spin. 22's around and in the wall. Ouch.
Wow. This one's going to take a minute to settle out. The 97 got tapped. 97, of course, running in the second position there. That's Ronald McKay getting tapped from the 98 of Stephen Matthews. 2 heat race winners being taken out there, and both of those guys, heavy damage.
Yeah, without a doubt, very, very heavy damage on both those machines. And Dylan Duvall, he was also taken out. I mean, they were almost 3 wide, 4 wide, trying to make that work there. I mean, it looked like they would have been 3 wide had they made the corner. So that was... That's an answer. That right there was our answer to our question on whether they were going to go all out or take it easy here. And I think that they're showing that they're going to take it all out here, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, and also involved in that wreck, the 16 car who was running 10th, saw it happen in front of him, man, and he almost got checked up in enough time, but he got into the 97 a little bit. I think John Gann's going to be okay. He's running 7th position. He's down pit road right now, but I mean, I tell you, 42's not okay. Ronald McKay not okay. Stephen Matthews also one of the guys not okay in that one.
Yeah, it's a very, very unfortunate event, especially, I mean, I keep bringing this up, but Dylan DeVault came all the way from the rear of the field, and he was taken out, so that's got to be really disappointing for him. I mean, if you think about it, that could ruin some nights there.
Yeah, and you got to think, Stephen Matthews was the guy who bumped Ronald McKay there, but on the outside, Dakota, I mean, it's really hard to judge how close you are to someone. You got so much going on. You got the guy that's on the inside of you, of course, that you're trying to race real hard to gain a little bit of momentum on the outside. Then you've got the guy behind you on the outside behind you, and then you've got somebody in front of you, and then you've got to remember to brake, and then you've got to remember to think. So there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the seat of the cockpit here, and me and you got it made. But these guys, man, I tell you, they're fighting for their lives in the car here.
Yeah, without a doubt. As we get set to go green flag racing here, it's like you said, it's about lift, brake. Oh wait, whoa, what? What's going on?
Yeah, and then by the time you say wait, it's over with. So, and I tell you what, who wants it to get over with the next lap is Ricky Arbo. He's led every single lap here. He's got lap traffic of Carter Wilson in the 27 machine just ahead of him. He's going to run him down, and hopefully he'll wave by and let him go. The 31, Dylan Roberts, someone new out front here in second place. Dakota, let's see if he can run Arbo down here coming out of 4.
Yeah, as I watched through 1 and 2, he was not able to make up a whole lot of time. 3 and 4, he's able to get him in the corner, but not quite through the center and off. It looks like they're almost even. They're both sliding either way, is what it looks like. This could be a good race, depending on whether 31 of Dylan Roberts can make up any time. And so, it's like I believe the leader just got loose trying to move around the lap car there.
Yeah, Carter Wilson taking the outside high lane there, allowing the leaders to go by as Dylan Roberts, Dakota. The caution coming out, but man, he was closing within a half a car length, maybe a little less, as the 16 car running 11th brings out the caution here, I believe, for the 5th time. He gets into the driver's side of the 12th car. John Gann, and the 12th car is Jeff Gilmet. So
yeah, it looks like the 12 was trying to move down because he saw the 4 up on the outside, and I think the 4 might have been having some kind of problem, but the 16 just trying to shove it all the way down there to get the position, and just no room really coming off that corner.
No, and you mentioned room. I mean, we talked about this a second ago. There's not a lot of room here. I mean, this is like it's not even a one-groove racetrack. It's like a half a groove racetrack, and it's at the bottom, and kind of towards the first white dotted line there that you see. That's kind of where the racing groove is, and you can barely fit one car in there, and Dakota, you know this, the strip here, as some may call the grip strip, or the groove, is very, very tiny, and if you get one tire outside that strip, man, that groove, sometimes that car will push, and that's what we see here sometimes.
Yeah, and it's not just that you're going there for grip and handling, it's also where all the speed is. And I mean, any race car driver you put on a track, they want to go fast. They don't want to sit there and pace all race. And if they do, it's probably because they're the leader. And I think that's what Ricky Arbo is liking right now, all this pacing while he's the leader, especially with that Roberts kid right behind him closing in, Dylan Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys wanted to tippy-toe, they'd be in pink skirts and ballerina dancing somewhere tonight. These guys want to race. And these guys aren't tippy-toeing. These guys are putting the metal to the pedal, or the pedal to the metal to the pedal one. They're letting it all hang out. That's why we see loose coming off the turn, tight going in, because they're running the right front so far deep into the corner that the right front's dragging the racing surface, the pavement here. So these guys, this is late model racing, Dakota. We both know how this is, and we're seeing signs of some small track, good Thursday night racing here in the Maritime Rustic and Towing 125.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people like to make fun of the name of this league, because Tim Terry was talking about it. Some people call this the Maritime League.
Yeah, the Maritime League and the Maritime League, man. It's all the same. It's the Eastern Canadian Late Model Series. That's what I call it. No, this is the Maritime League here, and these guys, first race of the season. trying to get some points here as we see a car off in turn 4, turn the other way. No caution though, Dakota.
That's the 4 car as well.
Yeah, Mike Rhino there. He's going to sling it around there. He's going to get back. Oh, caution now coming out. Looks like caution is now out for that incident. But nonetheless, Ricky Arbo still out front here. And that was the 4 car of Rhino there. I believe who calls that caution, Dakota?
Yeah, I want to see why he was turning around too. I'm gonna go back and take a look at this and see if I can't figure it out. But as I see it now, I'm watching. He was in 9th position in lap 51, coming off of turn 2. He's right. He goes into turn 3. He makes a little bit of contact, not much. Looks like he maybe locked the brakes up going through 3 and 4. Turns it into the inside wall and is turning around right out of the corner there.
And again, from race officials, there will be no lucky dog. The reason for that, because Mike Rhino is 1 lap down and he actually caused the caution. So now, Dakota, as I mentioned earlier, there are 23 cars on the lead lap. You want to take a guess how many are on the off the lead lap now? Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. The top 13 are the only ones on the lead lap. Vic Greenwood and the 11 machine being the guy on the bubble, being shown on the lead lap there on the tail end.
Yeah, I'm surprised only Dylan Duvall's only 2 laps down, and now as we see Mike Rhino actually going 2 laps down is also as he was just the cause of the caution. Like I said, he hit the wall pretty hard on the inside wall, but Ricky Arbo still up front. Ryan McIntosh has snuck up in the second. Now he's who I was watching the restart. He kind of barely got around that Dylan Roberts, and Dylan was not very happy. I think he was going to come back on the inside. I think he ran out of time before the caution came out, and again Ricky Arbo liking these cautions.
Man, I'll tell you what, look who's coming out of nowhere. The man also out of Eastern Canada, Zach A. Hudson, in the 86 machine there, snickering his way up to 4th position here. Looks like he's going to get settled in behind the 03 of Ryan McIntosh, who's running 2nd as we get ready to take the green flag here for the 6th or 7th time here, Dakota.
Yeah, you could actually. I have a count. It's caution number 6, or that was caution number 6. So we did take the green flag for the 7th time. And how about Zach Hudson? NOS on the car. Does he have it in the car now, though?
Yep, and we'll find out here in just a moment. He's stuck on the outside right now. Dana Ham on the inside. The 86 of Hudson running 4th, trying to get to the bottom. Can't quite clear him yet. Ricky Arbo still out front.
Dylan Roberts went around Ryan McIntosh for 2nd position, so can Dylan Roberts get back up to the leader in time as we have a battle again for, looks like 4th position back there. They were side by side. Dana Ham going around Zach Hudson going backwards. I don't know that he has the NOS in the car right now.
And how about this? The man who raced his way in the B-Main 20-lap Demolition Derby shootout, Tracy Foster. He's in 6th and he's moving up fast.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, he was one of those guys that couldn't quite make it in the first 3 heats, and that B-Main was really a great chance for him to get in here, and he's showing that he deserved that chance as he is, like I said, in 6th position, trailing Zach Hudson.
Yeah, and I believe he started near the back of the field as well with Dylan Duvall there. I think Dylan started dead last, and Tracy Foster was on the inside there. So, but now we see Tracy Foster falling victim in the 6th place to a lap car here. Keith Mack in the 22 trying to get back on the lead lap here. He is far away from that. He's 7 laps down.
Yeah, he's got a bit to go there, but again, these guys, this is the first race of the season, and yeah, that would actually be 4th position. We have a battle for 4th position with Zach Hudson, and I do believe that is Dana Ham on the outside going now a victim to the lap car of, as you said, Keith Mack. But they're out here to race for points. Terry's out of it because of a damage in the, I'm watching, I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. The 46, I believe that was Dana Ham getting into the wall and sliding everywhere. It looks like that was the 5th position car. I believe he'll give that spot up in a little bit more. 2 lap cars on the inside, that'll make it hard as they just came off pit road. 3 wide.
Look at, let's take back up here to the 3rd position. Zach Hudson, Dakota, just went around Ryan McIntosh like he was sitting still. Although I might have seen the left hand slip out the window there as the 03 of Ryan McIntosh says, Zach, go on, buddy, go get him. And now he sets his sights on second place, Dylan Roberts, who's about a straightaway ahead.
Okay, I might have lied. Maybe he does have NOS in the car, but he's just not using it.
Yeah, not yet. 70 laps complete here. 71 this time by as Ricky Arbo still in the lead. Dakota has led every single lap, doing a mighty fine job out there. Ricky Arbo representing Eastern Canada here very nicely.
And I'm watching Keith Mack. He is still trailing Zach Hudson. Keith Mack on a goal to on a mission really to get his laps back, even though he's only racing for points right now. This is the first race of the season, and that's why they're all out there still trying to hang on. Again, like Tim Terry, he moved up from what was about the last position up to 24th, and he is only 23 laps down. He is only 23 laps down, as Stephen Matthews just went to his 24th lap down. Jake Goodwin, who we saw earlier, again, I believe he was involved in another caution. He is 23 laps down, just came off pit road a little while ago. Ronald McKay, 13 laps down. Remember, he was one of our heat winners and was taken out in about the last caution. Cole Butcher, who started up front, again ran well in the heats. He is 11 laps down. Like we said, Keith Mack is 7 laps down. Mike Moreno was 4, and Dylan Duvall was the first car. Was 1 lap down. He was actually 2. John Gahan has now taken over that position in 11th position, 1 lap down.
And as we see Ricky Arbo continuing to keep up pace here, Dylan Roberts just not able to find the speed right now to track him down, but there's still plenty of time here to go, Dakota. 77 laps. Now we're back under caution here as looks like John Gahan in the 11th position loops it around. Self-solo spin there.
Now, if I am correct, this is the, I think he's done that more than once. This is his second one I do have written down for John Gahan, so not looking good, especially with the incident system they do have in this league. I have a feeling that there's a possibility he could get set down here soon, or have to race really difficult to be clean. As I'm watching him go into this corner, though, he gets really loose, maybe locks his brakes, bad tires or something, just turns it around randomly.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in here, this is the Rustic and Towing 125 at Lanier National Speedway, set for 125 laps. We're 79 this time around into the books here. Almost complete. Ricky Arbo, the man out of New Brunswick, Eastern Canada. The East Side Board Supply, Buffs and Stuff, Custodial, Chevrolet out there getting it done right now. Led every single lap thus far. Won the 3rd heat race, the last heat race, if you will. Ricky Arbo out there, and has not looked back since, Dakota. I don't even know the guy's got a rear view mirror on that car, because he is not looking back.
I think in the short run there is one guy that really made him look up in the rear view mirror that is non-existent apparently, and that was I believe Dylan Roberts. But Dylan Roberts must have gone down pit road. I don't see him. I see Zach Hudson moving up to 2nd position. Dylan Roberts, I have no idea where he went. Oh, he's back up to 8th position, one of the last few cars on the lead lap. As we now only have 9 cars, I believe that is 9 cars on the lead lap, and one of them being on pit road, he could go very well a lap down.
Yeah, Zach Hudson, another guy representing the New Brunswick Eastern Canadian flag there, doing a really good job, Dakota. Guy started back there in 24th or 27th position, and he's up here in 2nd. Tracy Foster, wow, moved up to 3rd, Dakota. This is a guy who won the B-Main, the Demolition Derby, if you will. Kept it out front, kept it clean, and he's up here in 3rd. You think Ricky Arbo's got his rearview mirror on now?
I don't know. I know. Tracy Foster's been really quick, and he's been able to avoid the carnage. But a lot of these guys up there that Tracy was running with are, only his pace. And Ricky, I mean, he seems to be out of this world. One of the few guys that I thought could contend with him has wrecked out. I mean, I honestly had thoughts for Dylan Duvall. He was coming up through the field, but green flag is out. Ricky Arbo getting a great restart. Not quite sure that Zach Hudson can stay on him. So they're making contact going into turn number 1 there. I don't know who that was, but somebody was all over the back bumper of Zach Hudson there.
That was Ryan McIntosh sitting in the 4th position, trying to push him out there. Looked like Zach maybe might have, eased on the throttle there on the restart, trying to maybe get down to the bottom real quick. But Ricky Arbo out front, Zach Hudson 2nd, Tracy Foster 3rd, Ryan McIntosh falling victim to 4th.
And as I look back here, I want to look back to 5th position. Mike Rayburn, he's going to go backwards. Caution on the speedway. I was going to say Mike Rayburn going backwards just a little bit in the 82, but hanging in there at least to be in the top 5 right now. So I believe I found the 68 car, the 89 car of Brian Campbell turned around here on the speedway. Not sure, 18th position. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Just watching him come off of turn number 4. Looks like he just gets a little sideways, and there's a wall there. He barely misses it, I think. And then we watch, kind of hit by one car.
And that was Vic Greenwood, I believe. Dakota, I think that he was battling an ill-handed race car anyway.
Yeah,
he came. Yeah, right. He came out of the pits. I think he had some damage, and I don't think they quite really fixed it. He got back onto the track, and man, he just took it sideways.
Yeah, without a doubt, sideways. And it's not hard to do at this track, either way.
Yep. Dakota, as we continue here under caution, I want to discuss the NHL lockout. I know I want to bring this up because every one of these drivers in here are from Eastern Canada, and if you know anything about hockey, it really originated out of Canada. And I know a lot of these guys participate either in watching the NHL or in some sort of capacity. But Thursday nights is a lot of games come on Thursday night, so a lot of these guys are going to start giving up their NHL watching ability to keep up with this league here. As the NHL lockout has come to an end, thankfully, the season will get underway here any second, any day now. And I know these guys are pumped up for that as they continue to race and begin the 2013 series season on a good note.
All right, Keaton, first off, I'm going to say that I don't know a thing about hockey. I don't ever watch it. But secondly, honestly, these guys aren't giving up their hockey. It's I don't know what day you're on, but it's Wednesday, Keaton.
Yeah, it is Wednesday. Oh, man, it really is. As the pace car back down pit road for about the night time here, Ricky Arbo taking us back to the green. Hasn't looked back since. 91 laps complete on the board. He's led them all. And now let's see if Zach Hudson in the man in the 86 car can reel him in as they go down into turn 1.
It's been one of those days, hasn't it, Keaton? But watching the 3rd place car, who was 3rd actually, and Tracy Foster had the inside lane with Zach Hudson. Zach Hudson able to claim that 2nd place spot. So I'm telling you, I think Tracy Foster might be stuck in the top 5. But either way, a top 5 was good for racing into the B main here.
I think it's Thursday night. I normally work in Georgia on Thursdays, and I worked in Georgia today on a Wednesday, so it kind of threw me off. I'm thinking today's Thursday, but hey, what's wrong with trying to get to the payday Friday? Trying to get there a little quicker.
Not quick enough.
Yeah, not quick enough. I tell you who's quick enough, and that's Ricky Arbo. He's out front leading this race, and Zach Hudson, Dakota, just a couple of tenths off Ricky. So Zach's not falling away too fast, but I tell you, what's going on with Zach?
And we have the ETV Live jinx, courtesy of Michael Wayne Keaton here on ETV Live. Zachy Hudson is in the wall and stuck in the wall. His day is most likely and definitely done.
That looked like a little bit of input failure there. Zach Hudson may be losing a little bit of input steering there. It looks like something came unplugged on that machine because he took a hard nose dive into the inside wall there on the front stretch. And man, his day is done.
Ouch, what a hit.
And the caution did come out. We are under caution here for that incident as Zach Hudson being quickly looked after there on the inside wall there. But Ricky Arbeau's got, you know what's going through, you got to think what in the world's going through Ricky Arbeau's mind here, Dakota. He's led every lap. He's had to restart. He has not faltered one bit, I don't believe. And the guy continues to lead. There's 8 guys on the lead lap now, Dakota. Zach Cutson is now going down a couple of laps. He's being shown off the pace now, but what's going through Ricky's mind? He's got to be thinking, gosh, I wish these guys would quit wrecking so I can continue my lead here. Because, one wrong move by the third place car on the restart, Ricky Arbeau could find himself turned around backwards.
I can't tell you what's going through his head. I'm not him, and sometimes it's hard to tell different drivers. But I can tell you what I'd like to hear is from a spotter or from a crew chief when I'm sitting in that position, and that's just take it easy. You're faster than everybody behind. Keep your eyes up front. No pressure in your ear.
And of course, Ricky Arbeau is faster. He turned his fastest lap of the race on lap number 9 of 13.787. Nowhere close to his fastest time in practice, which was a 13.593. And there's other ones in here that are a little bit faster. Dylan Duvall, we mentioned, he turned a 13.4. No one else in the realm of the unknown in that time, as the pace car lights are off, Dakota.
Yeah, as they line up side by side, we have, I believe, 101 laps on the board so far. We only have 9 cautions. I'm only expecting maybe one more. I can see one more, hopefully no more than that. But the green flag is out. Ricky Arbeau getting a great restart. There he goes. And that's the 2 right behind him on the outside lane. I believe that was the B main winner, not quite able to get to the inside. Stuck on the outside. Ooh, contact almost.
Yeah, that's Tracy Foster there in the 2 stuck on the outside. He's got to get down. He can't quite clear Mike Rayburn in the 28 car in position 4. Now he moves up to 3rd, and now the hunt is on for Mr. McIntosh. Caution's out. Ryan's going to have to settle back into 2nd here and see if he can reel the leader in. But 22 Keith Mack, the 12 machine of Jeff Gilmet is in the wall, and caution back out, Dakota.
Oh, I can see that. I was looking at Keith Mack in the 12th position coming through. I believe that's 3 and 4. They're 3 wide, and it looks like the 21 or the 12. I believe that's the 12 coming down just a little bit and collecting all 3 of those cars just a little bit there. I think the 5s that will sneak away just barely with a little bit of damage, possibly.
Yeah, that's Cole Butcher in the 5, and he declares not to come down pit road, so obviously that car's okay. Cole's back there in 16th position, 11 laps down. He's 1 lap behind Vic Greenwood, so if Cole can move that machine up past Vic, he will be in the top 15, which is a pretty good night here, if you ask me. So Ricky Arbeau continues to lead, Ryan McIntosh 2nd, Mike Rayburn moving that 28 machine up to 3rd, Tracy Foster, who won the B main race, the only one to advance into this A main event, is running in the 4th position. Dylan Roberts in the top 5, Dakota.
But you know what? We only had 7 cars on the lead lap. That number just extended. In 6th position, we had Doug Hubley. In 7th, we had Dana Ham. And guess who's in 8th? Who just got all of their laps back after being in an incident earlier. Came from the rear of the field. Fastest man in practice. I believe he was very quick in his heat race. Guess who?
I'm going to guess the 42 machine, the WheelStandPro.com Chevrolet of Dylan Duvall.
And you would have guessed correct there. That's Dylan Duvall. And I don't know what's going through Ricky Arbeau's mind, but I guarantee you when he saw the 42 go by, it was something around, oh crap.
Yeah, of course. Dylan Duvall has a little bit, as we have a little bit of incident here, as the car, now the red flag has been thrown out. The cars have come to a complete stop. Now we see them picking up pace here a little bit, Dakota, but some of these cars, man, I tell you, after that wreck and some other ones, they're trying to, get a feel for their car, and they just ain't quite handling right. It's kind of hard to wheel it around, and that's probably what we saw there. But yeah, Dylan Duvall, man, he's got a little bit of damage, but he still looks pretty fast, Dakota. And Dylan Duvall, of course, coming off of DWC in 2012, he really knows how to wheel a race car.
Yeah, he currently is in the Pro Series. Barely, I don't think he's in the top 25, and he was actually sat out of the race this past week. But his hopes are possibly still alive, as we do have in that series a lot of the top guys, or at least running for the top 25, have been suspended for the last week, or have not had the finishes they need. So you want to tune in Tuesday nights for the Pro Series. This week is the last week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I guarantee it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be one to watch, especially to see what happens with the points and who advances to the Drivers' World Championship, where you have the chance to win $10,500 if you are that lucky driver to win that series. But here we go, green flag racing with Ricky Arbeau getting a restart into turn number 1, side by side with we saw him a lot in the 4th place position. He is now hanging on at 2nd, Ryan McIntosh.
And 15 laps to go there at the green flag start now, 14 to go as Ricky Arbeau leads the first race of 2013 in the Rustic and Towing 125 at Lanier National Speedway. Ryan McIntosh in 2nd, losing a little bit of ground. Dylan Roberts in 3rd, Mike Rayburn 4th. We're trying to find out that Dylan Duvall has the car to get up front. Right now, he is back there stuck in traffic, Dakota, as caution is now back out on the speedway.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had a lot of incidents under that pace lap, and I wasn't sure, but I believe the 41 was involved in one of those. A few guys that I see back here that were involved in them. I'm watching here, though, and as I watched through turns 3 and 4 in the 17th position, the 41 of Robert Lee, as I want to rewind this, it looks like Tim Terry came up right in front of me, checked up just a little bit, locks up the brakes, but he's able to save it. Oh, and the wreck actually happens in front of him, and he does get involved. So it is Tim Terry actually getting in trouble here, and again, he was 21st, several laps down. Looks like he bounces off the wall, maybe gets loose and hits the wall, and just bounces down into traffic right next to Dylan Duvall. That was right next to, I think Dylan got the air off that because he went away wiggling, and that involved a lot of cars right there, including the 41.
Looking at the official standings here, Dakota, I see 7 now on the lead lap. The last one being on the tail end is Dylan Duvall back there in 7th. Doug Hubley in the 44 car in 6th. Tracy Foster, who won the B main, is up there in 5th. Mike Rayburn 4th. Dylan Robertson, the 31. We've seen him race with Ricky just a little bit, but can't quite hold on. Ryan McIntosh on that last restart. He was in 2nd. He's going to start 2nd in this restart. In Dakota, he was pinching Arbeau. And, man, I tell you, with these closing laps here winding down, might see a little bit more pinch or maybe a little bit of bite out of Ryan.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's wondersome. We've got to see what happens here. I'm truly excited for these last few laps. It's about like the B main we were talking about. We thought it could have been a wreck fest, and it ended up being a little bit of a few wrecks at least, and it was exciting. Now we have that format basically because we have around, like you said, about 20 laps to go, and just a small track, close racing, short track racing, late models. It's expected.
Can the man out of Amherst, Nova Scotia, Eastern Canada, pick up the win here? He's going to have to do it in hard, fashionably way as the 61 Ricky Arbeau leads us to the green. He's back in turn 2 with the lead. Ryan McIntosh trying to do the crossover. He's about 2 car lengths behind.
Now, I think I see a new 6th place car. Possibly, yep, make that a top 5 car up to 4th position. Dylan Duvall, the 42, is coming to the front. And he's not, well, he is out of time. We have about 5 laps remaining. But Dylan Duvall making a strong comeback here. Wow.
Yeah, and we saw Ryan McIntosh give up the 2nd position to Dylan Roberts. Roberts just a little bit quicker than McIntosh. Now we see Dylan Duvall. Let's keep an eye on 4th place. He's right there behind McIntosh. McIntosh slips up the track out of 4. Dylan Duvall underneath coming into 1, Dakota.
Yep, there they go, side by side. Dylan Duvall is going to clear him in the middle of the corner coming off. Dylan Duvall is clear and setting sails. At 28 almost makes contact with the car on the outside there. That was Tracy, excuse me, that was not Tracy Foster. But Ryan McIntosh, oh, they make contact.
And caution's out. Caution's out. Mike Rayburn around. He was on the lead lap in 4th position, I believe, Dakota. And that might freeze it.
Yeah, I'm watching. It looks like when I look back at this, the car on the inside of 28 just kind of comes up and taps him in the rear quarter panel. That was Ryan McIntosh, and 03 kind of spinning Mike for a ride there, to say the least.
Yeah, McIntosh, they're having a little bit of a issue there with the car, but I believe he will stay on the lead lap. And Dakota, I think this one's frozen. And Ricky Arbo, the 61 machine, the guy out of Frederiction, New Brunswick, Canada, is going to win the race. He won one already. That was the third heat race, and now he picks up the A main, which is the big prize. First race of the season, he wins it, Ricky Arbo.
Yeah, and coming home in second position, we have Dylan Roberts. In third, the guy who made the largest comeback of the race, I don't know how to describe it, Dylan Duvall. In fourth, Ryan McIntosh. And rounding out your top five, the winner of the B main in the number 2 machine, Tracy Foster.
And then just to go ahead and round out the top 10 here, the last two on the lead lap in 6, Doug Hubley, and then Mike Rayburn, who you mentioned caught up in the last wreck there. He finished on the lead lap, but it was in 7th position. And then, of course, Martin Landry in the 20 car bringing home 8th, Vic Greenwood in 9th, and then Cole Butcher enabling his car tonight to come home in the top 10.
Yeah, and that was a great finish there for everybody, but I want to run through possibly the rest of the field here. In 11th position, the number 4, we saw him around at least once, Mike Rhino, and he was slowing off the pace, but 12 laps down, able to hang in there for 11th position. Dana Ham, we saw him in the top 10 a little bit in 12th. Carter Wilson in 13th. Keith Mack, who was running very well, only going to come home with points for 14th position. Jeff Gilmet in 15th. Brian Campbell in 16th. Jake Goodwin in 17th. Robert Lee in 18th. Ronald McKay, who won I believe it was the first heat, in 19th. And Mark Williams going to round out your top 20 here tonight.
Zach Hudson finishing 21st in Dakota. It would have been fun to see if Zach could have ran over Arbo down. He took one hard lick into the inside wall. It's going to be we need to find out exactly what happened. Maybe later on this week we'll find out and get word from him, but it looked like maybe a situation where he could not help it because that car just took an abrupt turn to the left to the inside wall. John Gahan finished 22nd. Tim Terry in the 99 car, 37 laps down, beating Stephen Matthews out for the 23rd position. Of course, Matthews in the 24th. Craig McDonald, 25th. Chris Wanacott coming home in 26th. And Kevin Savory in the 88 car, 123 laps down. He was able to put a couple of laps on the board, so he'll get credit for that. He'll finish 27th.
Yeah, and what a spectacular night of racing here at Lanier National Speedway. But we're going to go ahead, step away, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with your top 3 tonight for post-race.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
And we're back live at Lanier National Speedway after a very interesting race. 125 laps for the Rustic Auto and Towing. 125 here at Lanier National Speedway. I believe we're standing by here with our third place finisher already, Dylan Duvall. Dylan, man, what a comeback. He was put in the rear of the field to do a technical issue with the start or something of the sort, and you came all the way through the field. You got wrecked. You got all your laps back, and you came back through and finished third. Walk us through it, man.
It was crazy. I messed up qualifying. I wasn't here when they went over the procedure, so I just went about and did my normal lap, and that sent me to the back. It wasn't intentional, trust me. Obviously, I purposely wouldn't want to go from 6th to dead last in a race that kind of everyone thought might be a little bit hectic. But yeah, on to how it went. Got wrecked early, and I don't know, people thought it was my fault, but I think after they see the replay, they'll realize it wasn't. But yeah, then I fought to get my laps back. I was in the lucky dog position, I'd say at least 6 times, and then someone who was close to being a lap down would spin out, and then that would cause a caution. They'd go a lap down, so no one would get the lucky dog, and I had to fight that the whole race, and I had 2 restarts on the lead lap, and I made the most of them. Went from 7th to 3rd in that last little run there.
And Dylan, how good was your car on a scale from 1 to 10?
Well, it depends. If you say before it was wrecked, it was a 10. But if you go back to after it was wrecked, it was about a 6, and then I got the damage fixed, and it was... Actually, no, scratch that. It was probably a 4, and then I got the damage fixed, and it was probably a 7.
Alright, Dylan, and finally, who makes it happen for you, bud?
I'd like to thank everyone on Gale Force Racing, Tim's Corner, Wheelstand Pro, and JDR Graphics.
Alright, there you go. From the Gale Force Racing driver, Dylan Duvall, going to pass the mic down to Batman Keaton, standing by with the second place finisher.
Yeah, Dylan Roberts, the man out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Dylan, wow, what a way to start out the 2013 series, getting a second place finish here. You were up there battling with Ricky Arbeau and couldn't quite get the car around him. Tell us about what it was like there watching Ricky lead every single lap.
Well, it definitely wasn't fun watching Ricky lead every single lap. It's a shame that we had to end under caution. I would have had a shot at him if he had a little bit of a bobble or something like that. It was a great race, though. A lot of cautions, but the racing was amazing.
Dylan, would you have gave the 61 machine Ricky Arbeau out of New Brunswick, Eastern Canada, a little bit of a NHL board play style push over into turn 4 to get that win?
If I had the shot at it, it definitely crossed my mind a couple times.
And, tell us about how this sets you up going into next week's race. You're more than likely you'll be sitting second in points, and, going into the second race of the season. There's a long way to go, but you're starting off on the right foot, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a little bit more pressure, but if I can have a good finish next week, it'd probably be pretty good in the long run.
And Dylan, lastly, who makes it happen for you in the 31 team?
I'd like to thank my dad for helping with the setup. Just everybody who sets up the Maritime iRacing League, thanks a lot. You guys make it happen. It's a great league.
All right, Dylan, thank you, and good luck next week. And standing by in Victory Lane, Gatorade Victory Lane, Eastern Canadian Victory Lane, Dakota Airman with Ricky Arbeau, the man in the 61 machine, getting it done in the third heat race tonight and taking home the double checkered flag here tonight in the Rustic and Towing 125 in Victory Lane.
Okay, Ricky, man, I have a great question for you. How do you, at a short track where it's always tight racing, a lot of wrecking, how do you lead every single lap of a race, man?
Well, over the course of the practice we had over the week, I noticed the strategy was taking off gas. Your tires will last, and that's what we practice for. I've been preparing for this a long time, and I just knew if I got the lead, I wasn't giving it up. They were going to have to turn me for it.
And that's that's not surprising, especially with Dylan Robertson. I believe it crossed his mind once or twice if he can get up there. But I mean, how exciting was that? I mean, leading every laps, coming out of the closing laps.
Oh, I'm just ecstatic. I can't believe it. This is definitely one of the right up there and the best wins I've got. It's my first TV race, and you know, I can't thank MIRL and Tim enough.
And what was going through your mind when you kept getting all those cautions, and especially the few at the end there?
Well, it was actually good because if we got a run, you know, your hands get sore, and it was nice to be able to relax and take a drink. But there was a couple extra I'd rather we would have gone green. But all in all, I think we did all right.
All right, man. And finally, who makes it happen for you, bud?
Oh, I definitely got to thank my family, my girlfriend most off for putting up with me doing this. Keswick Kitchen, Arlie Reynolds, my father, and Buff and Stuff Floor Care, Tim's Corner, and Custom Colors.
And there you have it from your winner tonight. And joining us on the broadcast booth to close us out, Tim Terry.
Well, I wish my run was a little bit better, but I have to apologize to Jeff Gilman for getting into him after he spun on lap number 1 in the back straight away. I had nowhere to go. We got some cleanup to do here, boys. We got some work to do over the next week or so. Me, JD Laird, and a couple of other guys have been involved in the league since day one. So we got some work to do. The racing, I don't think, was too bad. There was a couple of tempers out there, and you get that with short track racing, I guess. But looking forward to next week. Martinsville should be fun. I'm hoping to keep my car in one piece, or at least bigger pieces than what it was tonight. And I want to thank you guys for putting it on. I want to thank everybody for coming out, and looking forward to Martinsville. A little bit of a different format than what we're used to, but we're still learning. We'll get it down pat before long.
All right, there you have it from Tim Terry, and thanks, Tim, and looking forward to Martinsville next week. But from all of us at ETV Live, we'll see you next week, or actually very soon with, I believe, Monday Night Real Sim Racing and the Winners Motorsport Show. Both those coming up really soon. But for us at ETV Live, I'm out of here.
Thank you.